Okay, where do you want to start with Matt Gaetz, or what would you like to? We're having a buffet. What would you like to start with?
Oh, Matt Gaetz is so delicious. It's so wonderful. Oh.
So when you, my question, so Apple Pay, other cash apps, do you have to say this is regarding the underage prostitutes and the ecstasy? This is.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and the fact that, you know, the ugly details of him showing pictures on the house floor.
Yeah.
I mean, the level of disgusting.
Yeah.
And it goes to show us why we never got a response out of the GOP politicians, elected officials, because that's what they do about Trump's behavior.
Oh, this could be very good news, though, Frangela, because now we're saying, okay, so are the other members implicated that looked at the child porn on the house floor along with Tucker Carlson?
Yes, you are. Yeah, you are. That's illegal.
I just can't. I literally can't. Right?
You know what? I think Maddow pointed out earlier this week that he was the one no vote on the
child trafficking
bill. And there we go.
Yeah.
That's why.
I'm sure it's just a coincidence. I'm sure it's not connected. Yeah. So, okay. Because as I was saying, we can't even start. I'm wearing my Minneapolis shirt because it's like hard to even feel hopeful. And yet I was reading Cynthia Oxney this morning and, you know, talking about, yes, this prosecution is as strong as it looks to us, because you're like, dare we hope that once justice will be done in a case like this, right? Not one Republican has said anything about Matt Gaetz and the ecstasy and the underage girls, but apparently George Floyd died of a drug overdose. Really, I mean, it's just like you can't believe the stupidity of what we're being asked to believe, right?
Yeah,
it's beyond stupidity. It's offensive, and to the point where, for my own mental and spiritual health, I can't watch it. I have to watch it in bits and pieces on the news afterwards, because I find that my blood pressure rises, and my cousins who are there on the ground, I have a lot of family in Minnesota in that area. And they said that it's so tense there and everybody is so on edge and it's frightening.
Yeah. I mean, you retweeted, I think it was Yumi Shalcinder, but just said such powerful, triggering testimony. Donald Williams, an eyewitness to George Floyd's death, to Derek Chauvin's defense attorney. I stayed in my body. You can't paint me out to be angry. I mean, the paramedic that's like, well, yes, I'm emotional. Have you watched someone be murdered in front of you? I mean, yes. I just, his supervisor testifying against him yesterday, the paramedic.
And I'm going to tell you something. That's it.
Derek Chauvin didn't take his knee off him until the ambulance driver told him to move so they can move his dead body. I mean, it's I don't even know which part is more damning. Do you?
Yeah. No, all of it is damning. And the fact that we have to, that we're watching this for justice, Black people have to parade their pain in front of the world to get justice from the state is ridiculous.
Yeah. And be forced to relive it all. And
all of it. And not just, and all of us Americans, and I even hate when I say Black people, because all of it, that was a crime and a sin against us all.
Yeah.
Well, we were, skipping right to, Jamie Harrison tweeted something, you guys retweeted, that we were just talking about this whole, Sue in Rockville was saying, Delta, Coke, whatever, like, okay, what are you going to do, right? He said, okay, Delta, you changed your tune, good. Next step, and also, I should say, they gave us back our money for our tickets to Minneapolis, Sexy Liberal, when we had to cancel the tour.
Yes,
so,
we like Delta.
Delta is worming its way back into my heart. However, what will you do to address this issue? How are you going to help protect the rights of all American voters? #pass HR1, right? Don't just say you don't like this law. I mean, first of all, you waited till after it already got passed, right?
Exactly.
It's absolutely imperative that we all use our ability to make sure that we can get all of this reversed. Because you're right, it's, you know, sitting around and I don't know if there's any way to get justice anywhere. So we have to really stay on them about, no, this is not okay, and calling it what it is.
Yeah.
Jim Crow too.
Give me six. Yeah. Give me six. This is the Coca-Cola CEO, James Quincy.
Let me be crystal clear and unequivocal. This legislation is unacceptable. It is a step backwards, and it does not promote principles we have stood for in Georgia around broad access to voting, around voter convenience, about ensuring election integrity. And this is frankly just a step backwards. We've spent many decades promoting within Georgia a better society and a better environment for business, and this is a step backwards. And we're very clear on that.
Yeah, and then Lindsey Graham, of course. Wow, right after Matt Gaetz and his Molly Wars is getting into the Coke Wars. Here he is, Lindsey Graham.
Yeah. If Coca-Cola's for HR1, you're the dumbest CEO in the history of America, because if HR1 becomes law, ballot harvesting will be the law of the land. States will be run by the most liberal people in Washington. There'll be federally funded elections. Redistricting will be done by liberal Democrats. The Federal Election Commission will be partisan. If you think that's a good deal for corporate America or hardworking Americans, then you're crazy and you need to be fired.
Okay, let's start with none of that is
It's
true.
funny that Lindsey Graham thinks that he can take on a leviathan of a company like Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Lindsey
well,
Graham.
he can take on gangs just with his AK-40, whatever, AR-15.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, Francis, what? Yes, what were you going to say?
Yeah, we got Lindsey Graham. Number one, this ain't even your state, Lindsey.
Right.
Shut
Yeah.
up.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I was saying, I think the good news today is that Mitch McConnell has already come out and said not one vote, Republican vote for infrastructure. Good. So let's move forward with reconciliation, and then let's get rid of the filibuster, at least for voting reform. You don't have to even take this, whether you take the talking filibuster step or you don't get rid of it entirely. But for, as Hillary Clinton said this week, for constitutional matters like voting rights, they absolutely, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to say to Manchin or Sinema, whoever, you're blowing it up forever. But for voting rights, there is nothing else. There is no other issue if we don't have voting rights. There's no democracy.
That's right. And also, are you as officials, as elected officials, going to allow people to re-enslave Black people, to disenfranchise us even more? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if you're going to sit here and allow the GOP to take away our voting rights, that's enslavement. I don't have a voice in this country.
Can I say something controversial, Frangela? I am not certain that the Republicans care anymore so much about the things appearing racist when you sign a bill suppressing the Black vote with a bunch of white guys under a picture of a plantation, and then you arrest a Black lady that politely knocks at the door that is a legislator and then drag her through the Capitol. I feel like you're not so concerned about optics anymore in terms of racism. What do you think?
Of course they're not. We watched, I don't know, hundreds of white people storm the Capitol and put all of their lives in danger. But one Black woman knocks on the door and it is a felony. I mean, they let they don't want to do anything about that. They couldn't be more clear about the fact that what we are, GOP, the only thing we are is the party of racism. We have no platform. We have nothing for anybody to vote for. Our platform is brown and Black people are a problem. White people, we're into white supremacy. And they're absolutely clear about it. You can't negotiate with Nazis. You can't.
Did you see the guard said, oh, well, I was afraid it was going to become a January 6th. Really? One Black lady legislator politely knocking with her friend with her who would like to, as is her right, watch the signing of the bill or witness what is happening. Okay. Right.
One Black woman is equal to hundreds of insurrectionist, treasonous, seditious white people with bear spray and bats and batons and tasers.
And taking people's eyes out. Yeah, that was the danger.
Beat him with his own gun, kill him with his own gun. That's what we're comparing it to. And that's everything. I don't need to hear, do not call yourself a Republican and speak to me.
Yeah.
You can say you're a conservative and you don't have a party anymore, but do not align yourself with these people.
Well, now that you've said that, now I'm going to have a Republican speak to you. Governor, I'm sorry to do this. You only hurt the ones you love. Governor Brian Kemp.
We had the largest African-American turnout in the 2018 November election when I got elected. You know, Joe Biden needs to focus on things that he can control, like the southern border. And that's all this is. It's a distraction. They're using it to pass an unconstitutional mandate in HR1. It's all part of a political narrative that they're pushing. And we're going to continue to fight that.
Oh, I see. He's trying to distract from his racism of his voter suppression bill to his racism about the border. So he's like, look over there at that.
Yeah. Well, we've got lots of racist fronts happening. You just take your pick. But I find it
they're all on fire too.
Yeah.
I find it interesting that he literally says they had this record black turnout in a year that, by the way, he got in trouble for. By the way, we all know he shouldn't be governor. He stole it. He was secretary. But on top of it, yeah. So why do we need, if we had a record black turnout, what is this bill about? Like, what are you trying to, like, he just makes it more clear.
Yeah.
You know, that, we need to stop. What he literally said there is a lot of black people voted, so we need to change that.
Yeah.
And we need to keep Latinos out of this country.
I don't know about you, but
Latinx
I will donate a kidney and whatever other organ I need to make sure Stacey Abrams becomes the next governor of, even if they they're not asking for kidneys, I'm just going to take it out anyway and give it to them.
Recall.
You have another kidney.
Yes.
So why not?
Fine. Recalls. Get him out now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's okay.
Kidneys.
Yes.